Poor girl's voice brings hope, golden buzzer for stunning, Hotel California. The bright lights of the talent show stage had always felt a million miles away from where 16-year-old Emily Rose lived. Her world was a small trailer on the edge of town, surrounded by dusty roads and the hum of passing freight trains. Life hadn't been kind to her. Her father, a factory worker, had passed away 3 years earlier, and her mother's chronic illness kept her in and out of hospitals. Emily worked after school at a local diner, serving coffee to tired truckers and lonely old men just to help keep the lights on. Music, though, it was her refuge. In the quiet hours of the night, she'd sit on the porch steps with her second-hand guitar, the same one her dad had given her for her 10th birthday, and sing until the stars felt close enough to touch. She never thought anyone outside her tiny town would hear her voice, until Mrs. Thompson, a regular at the diner, overheard her humming Hotel California one slow evening. "Emily," she said, her wrinkled hands gripping her coffee cup, "your voice, it's something special. You need to let the world hear it." Emily smiled politely, the way you do when someone is being kind but you don't believe them. But Mrs. Thompson wasn't joking. 2 weeks later, she handed Emily a printed audition form for America's Brightest Talent. "I've already mailed the fee," she said with a wink. "You just have to show up." Emily almost didn't. The idea of standing on a giant stage, facing celebrity judges and a crowd of thousands, felt impossible. But that morning, as she watched her mom sleeping in her hospital bed, she whispered to herself, "If there's even a chance I can make her proud, I have to try." She took the long bus ride to the city, clutching her guitar case like a lifeline. When her turn came, she stepped onto the stage, heart pounding so loudly she could barely hear the host introduce her. The judges smiled politely, asking her name and what she would sing. "My name's Emily Rose," she said softly, "and I'll be singing Hotel California." A murmur ran through the audience, everyone knew the song, but few dared to tackle it. Emily took a deep breath and began. The first notes were hesitant, fragile, like a bird testing its wings. But then something shifted. She closed her eyes, and her voice poured out, rich, haunting, and achingly pure. Every word carried the weight of her struggles, every note painted a picture of longing and hope. The audience went silent, holding their breath as if afraid to break the spell. By the chorus, people were leaning forward, their eyes glistening. Even the toughest judge, known for his biting critiques, sat motionless, his expression softening. Halfway through, a string on her guitar snapped with a sharp twang. A gasp rippled through the room. Emily froze for a second, panic rising, but then she took a step forward, held the microphone with both hands, and kept singing a cappella. Her voice soared higher, stronger, no longer hiding behind the guitar. The raw vulnerability in her tone reached into the hearts of everyone listening. When the last note faded, there was a heartbeat of silence, and then the audience erupted, leaping to their feet in thunderous applause. Emily stood there stunned, tears brimming in her eyes. That's when Judge Maria, the one known for her compassion, leaned forward, smiling through her own tears. Without saying a word, she slammed her hand down on the golden buzzer. Gold confetti rained from the ceiling as the crowd roared. Emily covered her mouth, sobbing openly. Backstage, a producer handed her the microphone again, asking how she felt. She could barely speak, but when she did, her voice trembled with sincerity. I just wanted my mom to know I can do something good. That I can make her proud." What Emily didn't know was that her mother had been watching live from her hospital room. The nurses, who adored Emily for her quiet kindness when visiting, had wheeled in a TV so she wouldn't miss the performance. When the golden buzzer was pressed, her mom's hands flew to her face, and for the first time in months, she laughed, a deep, joyful laugh that filled the room with light. In the weeks that followed, Emily's audition went viral. Millions watched the video, leaving comments about how her voice had brought them hope in their own dark times. Donations poured in to help with her mother's medical bills. More importantly, Emily's story reminded people everywhere that talent isn't defined by where you come from, but by the courage to share your gift when the world least expects it. Months later, standing in the finals, Emily sang again. Not just for the judges, not for the audience, but for every person who had ever felt invisible, every soul who had been told their dreams were too far away. She didn't win the competition, but she won something greater, the knowledge that her voice could heal, inspire, and connect people across the world. Looking back, Emily would often think about the moment the confetti fell and how, for the first time, she believed in herself. She realized that the world is full of people ready to doubt you, but it only takes one person to believe in you to change everything. And for millions who heard her sing that night, Emily Rose became more than just a girl with a beautiful voice. She became proof that hope can be carried in a melody, and that sometimes, the most powerful stage you'll ever stand on is the one life builds for you when you dare to step forward.